So you want to get started in digital photography, but where do you even begin? There's so many different kinds of cameras, brands, all different things to think about, and it can get really pricey too. But what we've done is we've gone through a lot of different cameras, we've used a lot of different systems, and I've come up with a really great starter package. Everything you need to get started in digital photography for under $1,000. Okay, so I just want to start by saying that we're not endorsed by any of these products. These are all things that we've either used and liked or tried out and liked. These are products that we would stand behind, but we're not endorsed by these in any way. So the first thing that you're going to want to get is obviously a camera. You need a camera. And I'm recommending that you get a mirrorless camera, something that's a little bit smaller and less expensive, but really, really high quality and has a lot of features. And that's the Canon M50 Mark II. Now we've been using the Canon M50, the original one, for about 2 years, and we really, really love it. It's great for shooting video, and it's really great for stills also. If you're shooting in good conditions, bright conditions, you know, the images that you're going to get from this camera are comparable to a big expensive DSLR or full frame mirrorless camera. So the Canon M50 Mark II, it looks just like this one. This is the Mark I. It looks just like this. It's got the flip out screen like this, which is great because if you're videoing yourself, you can see yourself. You can also take pictures at all different angles. It's got a lot of features. There's really a lot packed into this camera. Really good camera. $699 for the Canon M50 Mark II. It comes with what's called a kit zoom lens. So basically the lens that it comes with is a zoom lens, and this is an interchangeable lens camera. So you can take the lens off and put a different lens on there, and we're going to get to that other lens soon. But this lens that it comes with is a 15 to 45 millimeter zoom lens, which basically, if you're thinking about it in 35 millimeter terms, is like a 24 to 70, which is really like the standard zoom for everything. So the Canon M50 Mark II, along with the kit zoom, which is a 15 to 45 millimeter zoom, $699. But I always recommend getting a nice, fast prime lens to go with it. So the lens that we've been using, and I've had this since before I even had the M50, I got the original Canon M years ago when the first mirrorless camera came out. It's the 22 millimeter f2 prime lens. And you can see how small it is. It's really small and light. I mean, this whole setup is pretty small as it is. When you take this off, this is the zoom lens. Put this back on here. This is the 22 millimeter lens. You can see it's really, really a tiny, thin profile setup. You can stick this in your pocket. It's really cool to go around and shoot with something like this. What the prime lens does, the 22 millimeter prime lens, and in 35 millimeter equivalents, it's like a 35 millimeter lens. So it's a really nice focal range, but it's fixed at that one focal range, 35 millimeters or 22. But it's an f2 lens, which means that the aperture, the opening in the lens is wide open compared to what you're getting in the zoom lens. So if you're shooting in low light conditions, or you want to take shots where your subject isn't focused but the background is blurry, you need a nice wide aperture lens like this f2 here. The zoom lens that comes with it, the 15 to 45, the aperture on this is like 4.5 to 5.6, so it's a more narrow aperture. You can't really shoot in such low light conditions, and you can't necessarily always get that nice blurry out of focus background. So I definitely recommend the prime lens 22 millimeter f2 to complement the kit lens, the kit zoom that comes with it. This lens is $199, and I'm putting links to all of these things that I recommend in a description down below. You can click on it, takes you right through to Amazon. You can put the whole kit together right from there. So I'm putting links down below. You can check those out. So you're definitely going to need, now that you have a camera, you have a lens, you have a second lens, you're going to need a memory card. And we're up to basically $900 already. So we're going to have to crunch down a few things into this last $100 to keep it under $1,000. You're going to need a memory card. I've been using Lexar cards for years and years now. The card I'm recommending is a Lexar 64 gigabyte card, which has a lot of capacity on it. You can fit a lot of pictures, you can fit a lot of video on there. $11.99, so I'm going to put a link to that below also. You can check it out, but you definitely need a memory card, because if you're taking pictures on here without a memory card, you've got nothing. You're eventually going to need to take them out of here, put them onto your computer. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But the memory card, Lexar, $11.99. You're going to want a tripod. I mean, you might think that I'm not going to be out there at night shooting. You're going to need a tripod. So I want to go light and cheap. I'm recommending the Slick Spirit 150. I don't have a slick tripod right now, but I've used slick tripods in the past and they're really good. This is it folds up really small, it's lightweight, but it's sturdy. So you're gonna like this tripod. You're gonna wanna use it for shooting in dark conditions, longer exposures. There's a lot of chances when you wanna use a tripod, you definitely wanna have one. And this thing folds up small enough where you can stick it in your backpack, you can just carry it around. It's not a big bulky thing, but it opens up nice, it's sturdy, and you're gonna wanna use it as you're developing more as a photographer. If you're just starting out and you're learning, spend a lot of time shooting on a tripod, because it really kind of changes the way that you shoot when you slow down and you compose a little bit more carefully on a tripod. So you want to get a nice, cheap, lightweight tripod. This thing comes in at $59.95. So we're going to put that in. Also, we're almost at $1,000. We're still under there. There's one more thing that you're going to need, and that's a camera bag. You're going to need a bag to put your camera, your extra lens, and maybe a couple of other small accessories in. And this is a small bag. It's the Vanguard VOGO 15M. It comes in at $25 and change, which still gets us right below that $1,000 mark. I've used Vanguard products in the past. Vanguard is really high quality, sturdy stuff. Very intuitive design, so it's got the pockets in the right places, it's got the zippers in the right places. I've used a lot of Vanguard bags. I really like those products. So I had to find something small and cheap that's going to fit your stuff, that's going to fit in our budget. So that's the bag that I'm recommending. So I'm going to put that down, a link to that below also. You can check that out on Amazon. So all these things, the camera, the kit zoom lens that comes with it, the 22mm f2 lens that you're going to get in addition, the memory card that's in here, the tripod, and the bag, all for under $1,000. If you're starting out, if you want to put a package together, you will not be disappointed. Get those things, get started, get out there and get started shooting. And then as you develop, as you shoot more and more, you're going to find things that you like doing, things that you don't like doing. You're going to find limitations in the camera or in the lenses or in the tripod, and you're going to say, okay, you know what, and I need to upgrade to something else. After a period of time, that's what's going to happen. Once you get out there and you shoot and you start to develop your style and you start to develop different ways of shooting and get more experienced and professional at it, then you're going to realize what limitations there are in your equipment and maybe upgrade, maybe not. This thing is really a versatile camera. It really is great. It's going to get a lot of things done for you. I've been using this to shoot stills for a couple of years now. In certain situations, it's really great. So I highly recommend the camera, the lens, these other things. If you want to put a package together, a nice budget package, and I always recommend starting out small and cheap. This way you can grow into your system, spend money a couple of years down the line when you really know what you need, what you really know what you want. Spend the money then rather than up front. Keep it in the budget, keep it under $1,000. I'm not responsible for the sales tax. I know whatever state you're in, the sales tax may kick this up over $1,000, but that's on you. I kept it at under $1,000. Shipping, hopefully you can get free shipping. You should be able to with Amazon, so that's not a problem. So if you're looking to put together a package for yourself, or you have someone who wants to get into photography and you want to give them a great gift, put this package together, give them exactly what you have here. It's a great way to get started. It's a great bunch of equipment. So next thing to do is get the stuff, get it home, get it set up, and then just go out and shoot and have fun and get experience and just use your stuff, because the more you use it, you're out there shooting every day. You should be shooting something every day. The more you use it, the more you're going to get used to it, the better you're going to be at photography. It's a great way to get started. If you have any questions or anything, put them down in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.